Hello everyone, Coin Collector here, and today we're going to be doing something slightly different from usual. Normally, I obviously make coin videos, and I will continue to do that, but occasionally I think I'm going to throw in a video like this. Another one of my hobbies is antique silver collecting. Sometimes I buy things to sell them on, or just buy them to keep. And I'm going to teach you about the history of silver hallmarking in Britain, and some of the objects that we made, because Britain has actually won the world leading reputation for silversmithing, both currently and over the past couple of hundred years. So the example we're going to be taking a quick look at today is a silver napkin ring. As the name suggests, it's used for a napkin, so in certain restaurants or for certain meals you may do at home, you may put a napkin through the middle of it, and this just keeps it in a nice shape. And when you're ready to use a napkin, you just pull it out and put it on the table. So as you can see, this one has a letter A inscribed on the ring itself. So this implies perhaps it was initially made, for a family whose surname began with A, or an individual whose first name was A, because in certain circumstances, these were actually, so you'd have a different one for each person at the table potentially. So you'd each have your own napkin ring with your own initials on. So the inside of the ring is completely smooth, plain, no design in there. But on the outside, you've got this sort of Art Nouveau, sort of swirling lines and patterns. Yeah, like that, going around. So it's quite a nice design. And then as you see here, we have the hallmarks. And hopefully this will focus. The point of hallmarking, it's been around in this country for hundreds of years, and it was to ensure that the standard of sterling silver, in this case, was maintained throughout, and that counterfeits wouldn't happen. It also enabled you to check where it was assayed. Now, when a silver item is assayed, it's effectively checked to see that it's made of sterling silver. And then they also add on the maker's mark, so who made it, the silversmith, and in what year, and that's called the date letter. But we'll start on the left. I know this might be quite hard to read, but I have, as you can see in the background, drawn them up, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So, the maker's mark starts off, and in this instance, it is J&R G. So the maker's mark, a silversmith, perhaps two in this case, because it's J&R, so implying two names, and then G, maybe brothers, because they got the same surname. Then you move on to the lion, which you can hopefully see, and this stands for sterling silver. Now anything that has a lion like this, so sort of side on, it stands that the item is 92.5% silver. And then, so after that, you've got the assay mark. Now this shows you in which city in the UK it was assayed, because in the past, nowadays, there aren't so many open, there were quite a lot of different assay offices. And this one is Chester. This actually closed in 1964. So it's one of the rarer assay marks that you could find, although not particularly rare. And then after that, now in this case it's worn, the right half of it is a date letter. And in this case it's sort of side on, so it is a letter V. You might be able to tell that in the camera, I'm not sure. But to make it clearer, I'll just go through them all again. I've drawn these up for you. So, this is what the J&RG looks like. And in this case it stands for J&R Griffin. And they were silversmiths from 1896 to 1926. Interestingly enough, they actually worked in Birmingham, and that has its own assay office, but they still decided to get it checked in Chester for some reason. Maybe they were visiting. Then, as I said, here's the almost world-renowned lion sterling silver mark. So, and this has been used primarily since 1544, as you can see, so Tudor times up until the present. That was first initially used in London, I believe, but it's used on everything pretty much nowadays as sterling silver. Now the Chester design is quite interesting because it's got a sword, because Chester has a proud military history, being, or in ancient times, on the borders between different Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. And then the other three things are actually bales of wheat. So, when you've been out to the field, because Chester's in a particularly productive part of the country in terms of agriculture. So there was a big hay and wheat market there, I believe, in the 18th century as well. So that's that design, and that's been used since 1884 up until 1962. But it's now closed down the Chester Assay Office, as I said. Then the date letter, which perhaps you couldn't see because on the item itself it's that way, and this bit's sort of worn off, but it's a letter V. Now, this enables you to date it to an exact year when the item was made. And in this case, the year is 1921, made in Chester. So the thing I like about Hallmarks is it enables you to get an exact idea of when a certain item was made, who made it, and obviously that it's authentic. I think antique silver is an interesting way, because we've got a lot of silver stacks out there on YouTube, to actually collect some more silver, because this is 9 grams. It should be more if it was full, obviously, but it's 9 grams of sterling silver, and you know, it may not be necessarily the cheapest way to stack silver, but it's certainly an interesting way to do it, because you get a lot of history with it, and some great items that you can potentially use in your kitchen, as it were, or for your tableware. I just wanted to know if you guys like this kind of video, if you want to see more of it, so I'll put a poll up in the little eye in the corner, and just tell me if you want to see more of these videos or not. I'm not fussed. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video and leave any questions about silver or coins down below.